the coach here, and something I think important we need to talk about, and all of us have probably experienced in our lives. Kamina the coach here. This channel used to be dedicated to helping people get ready to live and work abroad. I personally lived overseas for almost 10 years in 8 different countries, working as an educator. In March of 2020, I was forced back into the United States, so I started working on my adoption trauma, and I rededicated the channel to that. And I have been there's a policeman there. And 2021 was my reunion year. So we're going to discuss something that probably everybody who has childhood or adoption trauma has experienced at one time or another in their lives. And have you ever heard that saying, hurt people hurt people? Well, let's take the people out of it and just look at our lives. It also ends up being the case oftentimes that trauma begets drama. What do I mean by that? So it just seems like for people who have a lot of unresolved trauma, that things just always kind of happen. I know for me it did. And still occasionally freak stuff that doesn't normally happen to other people. Although now that I have really worked through a lot more of my trauma, it is a lot less. But so what prompted this video is because I have a former student and who's been through a lot in life, who's still very young, and I jumped in to try to help and kind of got burned a bunch, but I understand what's going on there. I'm not mad because I never got a thank you. I'm really not. And even if I would have known that I was going to get burned so many times, I still would have done it, because when I was young, I feel like nobody understood what was going on with me. So if I burned them or flaked on them, like, they really blamed it all on me and didn't really understand that I had been through a lot and I didn't know how to work through what I had been through. So it's really important for me to try to stick it out with people that I've committed myself to helping, even when they hurt me, because trauma begets drama, and it's not their fault. It's not. So let's talk about why this happens, and let's talk about what you can start to do to stop it. It's a long process. Like I said, I've been on a 2-decade healing journey, and it still occasionally happens to me. So all you can do is begin the process, and I guess the biggest thing to not do is get frustrated, especially with yourself or any version of yourself, and to be kind and gentle when you're with yourself when nobody else will. If you don't search for the love inside of yourself, you'll search for it anywhere, and that's gonna just end up re-traumatizing you. Trust me on this one. So why does this happen? Why do traumatized people who don't have resolved trauma, who have unresolved trauma, especially those that don't have a support system, what happens? So I love sociology. Sociology talks about why people do things because of the group, not just based on the individual psyches. I love sociology. Sociology says that people that are unattached are much more likely to present deviant social behavior, like alcoholism, drug use, theft, prostitution, all that kind of stuff. Basically, well, that makes sense, right? When you don't have anyone who is expecting you to do well, when you don't have anyone depending on you, well, yeah, it makes sense. So that's why, if you don't have a support system and you have a lot of unresolved trauma, that's part of it. Like, you just don't. I know for me, though I had an adopted family, I was on my own from 14. So, and even when I had them, like, it was never, I don't know how to say it. I had them, but I didn't have them. There was never an expectation put on me. I didn't even know my grades in elementary school. My adoptive mother never even talked to me about them. So there was never a real expectation. I actually just felt like a human-sized doll. She had me playing violin because that's what she wanted to do. But I don't know anything about grades or anything. So I never, at no point did I ever feel like I was like letting anybody down, because there was never really any expectation. And then once I was on my own, well, there was definitely nobody to let down. And honestly, I didn't think I was going to live past 18. And when you don't see purpose, when you don't have a system holding you, and you don't see purpose, it's easy to not care. And when you are living flagrantly without deep thought about your actions, of course you're also going to draw drama to you. Another really big thing that is drawing drama to your trauma is your mindset. So let's revisit quantum physics. I am very woo-woo, I'm very, very spiritual, but I love it when science will help me make a point. So let's return to that. We are all at our smallest form, not just me, my steering wheel, my seatbelt, my hair, my clothes, my necklace, everything. At its smallest form that we can really deal with is an atom. And an atom is made up of protons, neutrons, electrons, and some smaller particles. Yes, I know. I love particle theory. But let's just stick with the atom. And the atom is energy. We represent as solid or liquid or gas, depending on how fast that atom is moving. Right? So, our thoughts are also creating energy. Concentrated thought, not just thought, but concentrated thought with emotion behind it is a powerfully creative force. Let me say that again, because that was important. I was just changing lanes, but that was really important. Not just thought, but concentrated thought with motion behind it. So usually if you're feeling very emotional about something, you'll spend a lot of time ruminating on it, so thinking about it again and again and again. This is the most powerful type of creative energy. So as trauma-filled being, what is some of that concentrated, focused thought? Because focused thinking that we have a lot. Very common one is, why me? Why does this stuff always happen to me? This stuff only happens to me. It always happens to me. I don't know what's wrong with me, or there's something wrong. I'm not worthy. I'm so stupid. All right? These are really common focused thought patterns for traumatized people that have a lot of deep emotion behind it. And that is really powerful creative energy. The energy doesn't know the word no or not. So saying to the universe, I don't want this, is just saying to the energy, to the universe, yeah, bring it to me, because you're vibrating on the frequency of the thing that you don't want, because you're focusing on it with deep emotion behind it. Does that make sense? So as you focus on these negative ideas, you're drawing them to you. Isn't that sickening? That is just absolutely sickening. I am flabbergasted every time I think about it. And the reason why, I guess, is because I know at my core that as an adult, anything that, or even as a child, likely, a lot of that bad stuff that happened to me, a lot of it, I have been a co-creative partner in it, because I have focused so deeply on negative things that I didn't want, with that strong emotion behind it. So a lot of this crap I've created for myself. So, two things that are causing drama for those of us who have unresolved trauma. Not having a support system, not feeling like anybody cares, not seeing any future, having any purpose, that hopelessness feeling, and especially not having anybody to let down. And then, in addition to that, the focused thought with really negative energy behind it. These two things are pulling drama to you. It's like opening the door for negative garbage to come into your life. How do we stop it? First of all, well, I think I've said this the last 3 videos. It really is all about cultivating a sense of self-love and learning how to love yourself. So, since you're likely not going to be able to do that right now by yourself, one of the best ways to learn to love yourself is to love others. You need a community. If you haven't, so I have done videos about being alone, and I am back in a more solitudinal, or is that a thing? I'm in a more isolated state now than I have been in a long time. And the reason why is because I have processed my trauma and I am outside of a crisis area. If you're in crisis, you need community. And that's just all there is to it. If you constantly have drama in your life, you probably have very serious unresolved trauma, and you need a community. And I don't mean the people that you've had up until this point, Ray and Pookie, and I don't mean them. I mean, you need a support system of people who are preferably people who know what you've been through and understand what you've been through, who are where you want to be. It's really important to surround yourself with people who are where you want to be. If I see you hanging out with 5 thieves, I'm going to say there's 6 thieves. If I see you hanging out with 5 millionaires, I'm going to say there's 6 millionaires. Really and truly, we could get into mirror neurons, but this video is already too long. There's truth to, if you play with dogs, you get fleas. You end up vibrating on the same energetic level. So you find people who understand where you've been and who are there where you want to be. All right. So I know for myself, when I found one of my adoptee partners in support, I was really, and she probably wouldn't give herself this much credit, and she is way beyond me in healing and the way she sees the world. And I was always pretty concerned with how she would see my actions. And so I was concerned with disappointing her with something that I had done. And it's nice feeling to have somebody in your life like that to kind of begin to stabilize you out. I actually met her after one of my very dramatic experiences. And I think that knowing her helped me even out so that I could kind of move away from that pattern of drama in my life. So that was really nice. Another thing that's really important, and I can't begin to stress how much it is, your brain doesn't know the difference of whether you're being serious or you're just joking. Stop talking junk to yourself. Even if you stub your toe, be nice to yourself. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I hurt you. I'm so sorry. I love you so much. You're so precious. Stop. Oh, you're so stupid. I can't believe you did that. Stop that. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference, and it believes whatever you tell it. Stop talking junk to yourself. Speak to yourself gently. Catch yourself. And if you catch yourself doing it, don't, oh, I'm so stupid. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you forgive me? I'm just learning this new habit. Speak gently to yourself and make it a habit. It's much more have been. It's harder than it sounds. I know. Speaking as an introvert, I know. Find somebody who understands you, who is where you want to be. Speak kindly to yourself, because your subconscious believes you, whether you're joking or serious. Speak kindly to yourself. That is the beginning of developing self-love. Speak kindly to yourself. It's something that you can do right now. It doesn't require any resources. It doesn't require anything other than your dedication to wanting to be better. I was sick of just surviving. I wanted to thrive. And here I am. Healing is not a straight street. There are peaks and valleys. I just